Amigos, pues ya llegamos, ahorita vamos a entrar a punto. Me dieron un mapa. Pues es un lugar enorme, claro, como saben, los castillos siempre están rodeados con mucha tierra y mucho espacio para que la gente, la burguesía, se divirtiera en sus tierras, ¿verdad? Estaba viendo aquí esta iglesia. Me dijeron que va a haber más tardecito una demostración de una persona con animalitos así como que habitan aquí en la región, así como que serpientes y demás. No sé si la verdad quiera ir, pero me encantó la iglesia. Y vean nada más, a mí esta es la casa. Bueno amigos, pues antes de entrar a la casona decidí tomar una pausa para platicarles un poquito el motivo por el cual este lugar me llama mucha atención. Básicamente esta es la casa donde creció Tom Hart Dyke, que fue un horticulturista, que es un horticulturista, no fue así la palabra, muy famoso porque es el director de la Real Sociedad de Horticultura aquí de Inglaterra, y este es el lugar en donde él creció y actualmente aún habita. Amigos, este lugar ahorita lo vamos a explorar, pero también cuenta con un jardín que se llama el Jardín del Mundo, The World Garden, el cual cuenta con plantas de todas partes del mundo, las cuales fueron coleccionadas, digamos, por esta persona, por Tom Hart Dyke. Lo curioso de este lugar, amigos, fue de que básicamente en una de sus excursiones terminó en Colombia. Él estaba pues buscando, me imagino que alguna planta, no sé exactamente cuál, y lo secuestraron, amigos. La guerrilla en Colombia lo secuestraron por 9 meses. Y la historia es de que mientras él estuvo en cautiverio, 9 meses estuvo en cautiverio, secuestrado en Colombia. Mientras estaba en cautiverio sin tener nada más que hacer, pues él se puso a diseñar el jardín de sus sueños. Y básicamente, después de que, gracias a Dios, lo dejaron salir, lo dejaron ir, y en cuanto regresó a su casa, él se puso manos a la obra, y esta es su creación, el Jardín del Mundo, el cual fue creado después de que Tom Hart Dyke fue secuestrado en Colombia. Así que pues por eso es muy especial, ¿verdad? Por las circunstancias, pero también, amigos, la historia. Este lugar fue muy visitado por los reyes Tudores, como les dije, Enrique VIII y Elizabeth e Isabel, las reinas primeras. Entonces, pues es un lugar hermoso, amigos. Vean nada más este lago. Hay cisnes, está lindísimo. Les enseñé la iglesia que está a este lado, vean nada más. La iglesia está divina, así que pues me imagino, entiendo por qué venían a pasar temporadas de vacaciones por acá. Otro dato curioso, amigos, es de que el amor por las plantas de Tom fue inculcado por su abuelita, la cual también, claro, vive aquí. O sea, esta casa, amigos, ha estado por creo que 400 años en manos de la misma familia. O sea, familia tras familia, la pasan de mano en mano, ¿no? Entonces, su abuelita fue la persona que le inculcó a Tom Hart Dyke el amor por las plantas. Y de hecho, él tiene un injerto. Les digo, no sé mucho al respecto en cuanto a las plantas, pero creo que él creó una planta nueva y le puso el nombre de su abuela en conmemoración a ella, y porque fue la persona que le inculcó el amor a las plantas, ¿verdad? Así que es un lugar muy especial, con mucho cariño, con mucha tradición, y pues con esa historia que a mí se me hizo espectacular, la verdad, una historia moderna, pero fabulosa. Así que, amigos, vamos, ya les conté, vamos a la casona. Vamos. dar un tour por esta hermosa casa. Parte de la casa está abierta solamente y desgraciadamente no pude tomarles fotos ni videos porque pues no se ha permitido, porque es su casa. La gente vive ahí, ve nada más la magnitud del lugar, y solamente parte de la casa está abierta al público. Pero lo que vi es, amigos, las maderas finas por el piso, el techo, las paredes cubiertas, los relieves altos, bajo relieve, las telas, los adornos, pues hay desde las típicas no sé, espadas, las armaduras. Hay muchas pinturas, mucho arte y telas, amigos, como telas bordadas que las ponen en la pared, muebles de madera sólida, las escaleras labradas a mano, o sea, todo de madera, las alfombras, ventanas enormes, de nada más. Es un espectáculo fabuloso. La verdad me dio tristeza que no pude haber tomado video, pero les digo, es al fin y al cabo es su casa, entonces entiendo por qué no quieren que uno esté poniendo su casa por todo YouTube, ¿verdad? Algo que vi muy curioso y les quería platicar, de que me dio miedito, es de que hay una muñeca, o sea, vestida, no sé, será como 60 centímetros. Pero así como tipo Anabel, amigos. La cara es como de, no sé si sea como porcelana, los ojos se le ven ya negros porque no saben, es como de 1400 y tanto. La encontraron aquí en una de las remodelaciones que hicieron de esta casona, y está vestida con un vestido muy lindo, muy elaborado. Yo creo que no era un juguete, muy elaborada la vestimenta y muy fina. Sedas y pedrería y demás, y estaba platicando con la señora que estaba ahí cuidando, y me platica que creen, que no saben de dónde llegó la muñeca, pero que creen que en esos entonces, amigos, saben las vestimentas que se pone a la gente, los vestidos tan pesados, tan grandes. Entonces, para las modistas, en vez de, digamos, no tener un catálogo o en el internet o impreso, entonces mandaban muñecas con los vestidos que ellas podían hacer, así como un catálogo físico para decirle, estos son los vestidos que tengo. Mandaban muñecas con los vestidos que ellas habían hecho, claro, tamaño más chiquito y mucho más fácil de mandar por, pues que en ese entonces acuérdense que tampoco había correos, o sea, por caballo y demás, ¿no? Entonces, pero la muñeca está ya, tiene sus años y se ve, pero sí bien feita. Entonces me dio mucho miedito. Digo, ay, no se me voy a pegar a ver. Pero mucha historia, amigos. Me doy cuenta también que hay algo en común que la gente británica, la gente rica, tiene, es de que pues viajaban y tienen muchos souvenirs de muchas partes del mundo que conocían. Entonces ve uno cosas de África, cosas de Italia. Entonces la casa está decorada por, digamos, souvenirs de sus viajes. Fotos, bueno, no son fotos, muchas pinturas de gente que ha vivido aquí. Entonces pues van caminando así como que en las paredes hay fotos, bueno, pinturas de todo el mundo, ¿verdad? Entonces, una experiencia muy bonita. Me platican que en octubre, después de Halloween, cierran ya este lugar y ahora sí la familia puede estar en paz sin visitantes, así como yo aquí dándoles lata, ¿verdad? Pero vamos ahorita a la cafetería a tomarnos algo. Como ven, amigos, es un día fabuloso. Es un día fabuloso y vamos a tomarnos algo. Me doy cuenta que aquí hay gente que me está quedando viendo. Entonces es un lugar fabuloso. Vamos a tomarnos algo a tomar y vamos a ir a un tour del Jardín del Mundo, que es guiado ni más ni menos, amigos, por Tom Hart Dyke, su creador, la persona que fue, desgraciadamente lo secuestraron en Colombia, y fue el creador de este hermoso jardín. Así que vámonos.
anybody hear me? So, just to clarify for the next hour, what exactly is going on? Who's been here before? Who's been here for this event before? There's one brave lady's return, so none of you apart from the lady here. So, to clarify, for the next hour, we're going to walk around the World Garden and celebrate these amazing plant hunters for the last few hundred years, especially the last 250 years, who've brought back so many different plants to our shores. 85% on average of what you see in your garden throughout these British Isles isn't from this country at all. It's amazing what's been introduced over the years, especially in the last 250 years by these plant hunters, ladies, chaps risking life and limb going all over the world in their oak-built ships from Graves, from Falmouth, Cornwall, from Southampton and from Portsmouth to go for years on end bringing back all these different plants. I'm two characters today, hope this will work. With the top hat on, I'm David Douglas, without the accent, a famous Scottish explorer that in the 1820s and 30s went to North America to bring back plants that you'll all recognise in your own gardens or your local parks. I brought back so many different plants from that era, and I'll explain my heroic stories when we get into the World Garden. With the top hat off, I'm Tom Hart Dyke. Is that clear? David Douglas, top hat on. Off, Tom Hart Dyke. Is that clear? Yes. So, without being David, with the top hat off, welcome to Lullingstone, our family home, and it has been since we moved here. 4th of October, I just checked with Mum, 1361. This is what happens after these generations. To be the 20th generation of the same family to have lived here, what a pleasure. And personally, being inspired by David Douglas and other plant hunters, at a young age I was always going to be interested in plants in the wonderful rural Kentish landscape. I live on the left-hand side of the gatehouse, above the Tudor toilets, and gents, the urinal is listed. It's a listed urinal, just for information. Just got it listed recently.
Well, you didn't get to see that.
No, you don't. No, you're not missing one. Don't worry. On the right-hand side was my inspiration, where she used to live. Mum in the orange top through there. Her mum, my granny. Top right-hand windows that are open there. Her bedroom. She was amazing, and she was such a keen gardener. Inspired me at a very young age, and inspired me, telling me about these plant hunters who brought back all these different things from around the world last few centuries. At the age of 3, when I was just 3, she gave me a packet of carrot seeds and a trowel and said, Tom, get your hands dirty. If you lose a few plants, don't worry about it, just enjoy gardening. And a lot of you will relate to that who are into plants. I'm just an enthusiast who loves the world of plants. So that's what we're going to do for the next hour, as we walk through the World Garden, laid out as a mini map of the world in miniature, going from countries to continents, where these characters brought back these different plants. There are some quite interesting, quite eccentric characters, all dressed up for you in their bank holiday Monday best. We don't usually dress up like this, but for you special plant hunting fans today, that's what we're going to do. And after the hour, I'll try and stick to an hour. I do get rather enthused and carried away. If you would like to, especially the youngsters here, there's a guy called Okan, an amazing chap from Zoo Lab, who will show you in the church, I'll walk you to the church afterwards, some amazing amount of critters. He's got tarantulas and snakes and hissing cockroaches and everything that most of the plant hunters ate when they were out in these various places. So he'll be doing his stuff from 2:30 till 3:30. Does that make rough sense to you all? Yes. Right, here we go, as David Douglas. Not this Tom chap, as David Douglas. I need to be sent off to North America. I need to be sent off by royal aplomb. I need to be sent off to find these rare plants from northeast and northwest America. So today, back from the dead, today we have a very, very special guest to introduce.
And welcome to Lullingstone Castle. As your priest, my duty here today is to send you Mr. David Douglas off to North America. But remember, David, bring me back some horticulture delights.
Queen Victoria!
A nice cup of tea and a rather nice slice of cake, something you might know.
Queen Victoria! Follow me to Northwest and Northeast America.
Over 125 years ago. Up in your eyes, did it get that
Can I just say, what a group. I'm not sure I've shown this many people around. Sorry, I'm not sure I've shown this many people around the garden. As Tom, he's always getting carried away, this Tom chap, but so enthusiastic about things. I love it. I would be rude on a day like today. It hasn't been a cloud in the sky since 8 p.m. last night. These cedars look majestic. Great-great-great-great-great-granddad planted one of the oldest cedars that's still alive, certainly in Kent. In 1771 he planted that. And that's really past its best, but looking majestic in the middle there. This is 1803, this example here too. And in the backdrop, about 1820. What wonderful cedars. And Tom's parents, my parents, would have actually probably funded an expedition for a plant hunter to go abroad, in this case to the Middle East, to the Lebanon, Cedrus libanii, to bring back these various plants to say. My relations perhaps would have said, oh, I've got the first cedar in Kent, I've got a bigger cedar than Leeds Castle, Hever Castle. So that kind of thing, showing off really, and probably having a keen interest in plants as well. But what great trees. And on this individual branch here, to take the weight of 3 3/4 tons of wood on the knuckle, which is the bit joining the stem almost horizontally, just holding out my amazing serpent walking stick like this for more than 5 minutes, gets heavier and heavier. Imagine doing it, 3 3/4 tons of wood for 138 years. The energy in that wood is incredible. I'm omitting a couple though that I've only just spotted. I also have Victorian helpers and guides to show me through North America. This is Sir Brian and Lady Susie in the background there. Sir Brian, Lady Susie! Follow me everyone. Can I actually update the information about the size of group? I don't think I've ever shown a group this size, so be patient around the garden. It's quite hugger-mugger in places, but... Last bit as Tom. You've all got your garden leaflets, open it up to the middle, just a light introduction. I know it's quite a warm day, we're in the sun here, but just a light introduction about the garden to make a bit more sense for you, as most of you haven't been here before. It's laid out, as you open your leaflet, you'll see a colourful map of the world with plants that are phytogeographically planted. Phyto from the Greek, plant geography of where it comes in the first place. That's the idea of the world garden, the first acre through Great Granny's Moongate as you walk into the walled area, 2 acres in total. Laid out as a mini-map showing you where these plants come from and who introduced them in the first place. The gentleman here has done it already. Just to clarify, there's one key thing that it seems a mistake, but it wasn't. As you walk through the Moongate, you come to the UK section first. You don't come into South Africa. The world is upside down to start with, so you've got to turn your leaflet upside down. The reason being is that we have North and South America on the sunny south-facing side. What a spring summer we're having in the southeast, and wherever you come from, probably you're having as well. Most parts of the UK. The Mexican section has never looked so good as it has for you this afternoon. Amazing. 20 years, 3 weeks ago, since we started doing the garden in July, mid-July 2005. Mostly run by volunteers, the garden, and almost all of the plants have been donated. Some 7,000 different types of plant as you walk around the garden and the immediate environs too. What I'm attempting to try and squeeze in as well at the end is a walk through our cactus house, which has never looked like that before because of these conditions, and hopefully a Guatemalese exploding volcano at the same time. We'll see how we go. But just one other thing to say, where did the garden actually start? It started, as some of you might know, 25 years ago, when me and a friend tried to cross an area on the Panamanian-Colombian border and got kidnapped by a Colombian guerrilla group trying to look for rare species of orchids on the Darien Gap, not to be recommended even to this day. In in the most paradoxical place you'd want to be mid-March of the year 2000. Didn't want to be anywhere else but there, looking for rare species of plant, me and a friend. Anywhere but star there at 12 on March 16th of the year 2000. Thrown to our knees, hands tied behind our backs, big M16 stuck to our heads. I won't get too graphic. It was really scary. Marched to our feet, just kidnapped by kids really, 15, 16-year-olds with machine guns, dragged off into the woods for 10 months in captivity, from March through to December of the year 2000. And 3 months into our captivity, and I'm not recommending being kidnapped, but in that area after being kidnapped, we saw some fantastic orchids. I mean, the chance of execution was high, but the orchids were amazing. So I collected orchids, I built gardens with our captors. They really wanted to kill us, but at least I managed to distract myself. But June the 16th was not so good. We were incarcerated for about 5 weeks in this palm hut near my friend Paul I was with. He's also still alive, all is well, and divided into 2 bits with a palm leaf barrier basically, so we couldn't see or speak to each other for about 5 weeks. On June the 16th, in our captors came 13, 14-year-olds with all their big guns and said, "You've got 5 hours, mate, before we blow your heads off," to put it very mildly for you this afternoon. What do you do, gardeners? With no hesitation, as this just turned 13-year-old with an M16 with rocket launcher attachment, which was 4 foot taller than him when he was standing up, turned his back, opened up my diary and started scribbling what's turned into the World Garden at Lullingstone as a way of really dealing with the situation. We all know how therapeutic gardening is, but this was ridiculous. And it got me through the next 6.5 months of captivity. How did it all end, Thomas? Well, to this day, Mum still says the only reason you got out is you never stopped talking. And they got so fed up with us in the end. They didn't speak English or read or write. Some of you might get this, but Paul really didn't speak much Spanish at all. He was like that Manuel from 40 Towers. And it was just extraordinary. They told us, move all the swear words, terrible language, basically get lost, happy Christmas, come back, we'll blow your heads off, here's all your stuff back. They gave everything back to us, our captors, that they stole off us, they took off us 9-10 months earlier. Cameras, health passports, Lloyd's TSB card from the high street in Sevenoaks, they gave back to us and told us just to get lost. Down the hill we went, and we got completely and utterly lost. I promise you this is true. We had to go back for directions. I'm laughing, but also you're going to be executed, so it's an interesting mix of emotions. Back up the hill we went to our captors, who just put the guns on the ground, hands on their head. These 2 idiot gardeners from a place called England can't get rid of them. Gave us better directions and paid us. Sorry?
Go away.
They paid, our captors paid for us to go. We were that bad. And I've still got the 5,000 peso, about £1, the money they gave us. Honestly, isn't it good to be alive? I did collect lots of orchids. I built gardens during captivity, but they burnt all the orchids in the end before we got released. But who cares? You're alive. Isn't life great? But enough of this young whippersnapper Tom. He hasn't collected anything. Me, David Douglas, I on the other hand am far more important and was born way before he was, in 1799. Follow me to Northeast America and I'll regale my stories of what I brought back from New York State. Follow me. I'm not sure how this is going to work with a group this size, but follow me. But another Vancouver city in Washington State. North of Vancouver City is the Columbia River, which borders another state of Oregon. It was in Oregon and Washington State, later California, I was to do my plant hunting. I was the only plant hunter, the first plant hunter, and the only one even at the time to think about it, thanks to the Royal Horticultural Society, you now call it, to go to this particular region. it was dangerous as well. The Fort Vancouver, as it was called back then, was built by settlers, in particular involved in the controversial fur trade. The native North American Indians, warring between themselves, were not impressed by these white settlers coming in. So as a plant hunter, I had to be very, very careful. But what I had and brought with me was the currency for the native North Americans. Tobacco. I bought bags of tobacco and they became my friends. I learnt their culture, their mannerisms, their languages, and they became my guides. Away from the settling communities of Fort Vancouver, for years on end I would use the local tribes, some warring factions, different sides of warring factions. They appreciated this white face, this foreigner coming to Pacific Northwest America to learn their culture, and in exchange for tobacco they wouldn't just not kill me, which was great, they would also collect pine cones of trees such as this. This is a mini one, a mini version. I'll tell you what the tree's called in a minute. You might know exactly what the tree's called, named after me. Some trees were 300 or 400 feet in height. How was I to get the cones? I had a gun, but short on munitions all the time, precious ammunition, so I could shoot off some of the cones without climbing. The native North American Indians were up there in 5 minutes to collect the cones if they got tobacco as a reward. It worked really well over my 9 years in Pacific Northwest America. It was thanks to them, the settlers, for access partly to get the ship in there, but for the native North Americans as my guides, I would not have been the successful plant hunter that I was. Everything here that you see, that Tom, coincidentally, he didn't know much about David Douglas when he was in Colombia and starting the garden out 20 years ago, I brought back Phytolacca decandra, or pokeweed, quite a toxic plant when the berries are black. Tom's got it right on the path, of course. And the red flowering currant. All you King Gardens will know, more of a pinky colour to red, and it has fruit on it. Tom must say to mention to you, what a season apparently in 2025 for fruit set on apples, pears, peaches, nectarines, apricots, currants. Amazing year for fruit in the southeast, he tells me. Very rare to see these fruits on this currant. It's an ornamental currant, you can't really eat the fruit, but the native North Americans could eat the fruits of what's in front of it, the prickly foliage of Mahonia aquifolium, or Oregon grape. The fruit would be made into a conserve by the native North American Indians. All you King Gardens will know Mahonia in
¡Bravo! ¡Bravo!
Very difficult to play. Well done, Sir Joseph. In the modest man that Sir Joseph Banks is, he's going to tell us a bit about his plant hunting exploits.
Yep, okay.
Amigos, pues ya terminó el tour y vaya tour tan especial que tuvimos, el cual lo impartió el mismísimo Tom Hart Dyke, el creador de este hermoso lugar. Fue el mismo que nos dio un tour muy, pero muy entretenido. ¿Listo? Otra cosa es de que me doy cuenta que uno a simple vista, pues uno ve todas estas plantas y como que no piensa uno nada, que son nada especial. Pero si nos damos cuenta, amigos, son plantas. Este es un lugar muy especial porque son plantas que normalmente no habitan en el mismo lugar. Plantas de todas partes del mundo que han sido cuidadosamente pues crecidas aquí en esta parte de Kent. Me imagino que cada planta tendrá su historia y todas fueron traídas en semilla, amigos. Son todas, o sea, germinadas aquí. traen las semillas de aquí, no sé cuál es el proceso, pero entonces, o sea, de todas estas plantas nos comentaron que crecieron de semilla. Y vean nada más el maravilloso lugar que se han creado. Es de verdad, es un lugar muy especial, amigos. Es de verdad una oportunidad sin igual de estar en este lugar con todas esas plantas de todas partes del mundo en un mismo lugar, ¿verdad? Lo especial de este lugar de Lullingstone, amigos, es como que no solo es un museo congelado en el tiempo, sino que un hogar que sigue vivo de todas esas plantas. Caminar aquí es como viajar a través de siglos de historia, amigos, y de reyes Tudores hasta aventuras modernas, como sabemos la historia de Tom Hart Dyke, todo reunido en un mismo lugar, ¿verdad? Y es la historia de este castillo de Lullingstone, que la verdad no se ve como un castillo, como el que vemos en las películas, pero es un castillo. Pues es un lugar muy especial, amigos, muy mágico, pero algo más contemporáneo, porque, o sea, tener a Tom Hart Dyke, el creador de este lugar, aquí con nosotros. Él y su mamá viven actualmente aquí en el castillo. O sea, wow. Entonces, pues les digo, es un lugar muy especial. Espero les haya gustado todo lo que les conté, todo lo que vimos. Y si les gustó o no les gustó, pues coméntenmelo, díganmelo aquí en los comentarios. Y yo con mucho cariño les comparto lo que veo. A mí me encanta todo este tipo de cosas, ya saben. Y pues espero les haya gustado. Espero nos veamos pronto en otra aventura más. Y besito a todos, familia. Nos vemos pronto. Chao, chao. Y para cerrar con broche de oro, les dejo una pequeña sorpresa. Sigan viendo este video. Hola amigos, estoy aquí. Mi nombre es Laura, soy una mexicana en Inglaterra. Estamos aquí con Tom Hart Dyke, el mismo, el que le dio inicio, originó este hermoso jardín y que actualmente vive en este hermoso castillo. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Thank you for that amazing tour.
Pleasure.
You were so entertaining. It was amazing, and you know the whole story of you in Colombia was, oh my God, it's crazy. What are the odds? I mean, you know, that's actually the whole story. Is what drew me to this place.
And without that experience in Colombia,
Exactly.
there wouldn't be the garden.
What a fabulous place. I mean, I was just talking in the video that we normally wouldn't have that experience to be in a place like surrounded with all those plants that are not normally in one place.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. That is amazing. I just wanted to, read a bit about you and stuff and your origin. And you grew up in this place.
That's right.
Wow.
In the gatehouse that's over there, the Tudor gatehouse. Yeah.
And so, what was that like? I mean, you know, we all picture living in a castle like in Disney, you know, kind of thing. What was that actually like?
Hide and seek was amazing. No one ever found me.
No, you could disappear for days.
It was great, and friends coming over to see me to stay the night, or so, you really their reaction at how much they loved the sense of space and all the big rooms, their appreciation of it. I loved it, but I loved it growing up. I really did. It was the best place ever.
You know, an amazing childhood.
And why I'm so interested in plants is because of growing up here and my granny. I mean,
well, your granny, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, you know, that's such a lovely story. And also, I wanted to ask about that cracked delight.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
It's an amazing penstement from the Copper Canyon in North Mexico, in the village of Creado. And that's a Copper Canyon, everyone should know more about it. It's much better than the Grand Canyon. It's a fantastic place. I managed to collect a new variety there with lovely purple flowers and a white fluffy throat. It's called a beard's tongue, and named it after my granny. She was really pleased with it.
Oh, she lived to see that?
She did. She
Where
did.
Did she pass?
She passed 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, exactly.
So
That's right.
She went through the whole ordeal of, you know, oh bless you. Well, So glad to see you here, and I was like, thank you for what an amazing place.
It's a pleasure. Can I just add one thing?
Yes,
The
of
country of Mexico was a huge inspiration to me. We have more plants from Mexico in the World Garden than any other country.
I saw, thank you. I mean, I saw now, like, oh my God, this feels like home, you know? The tunas, you know, the cactus, and, you know, for the
Tunas,
tequila,
yeah.
and the tunas, and I was like, oh my God, you know, I cannot like fancy, I was like, oh,
And the heat like Mexico,
no,
today.
it was amazing. I mean, it's great. So I'm so pleased that everything's thriving.
It's great you've come.
And,
Great you've
no,
come.
No, definitely. It's going to be experienced and I'm to put that on my YouTube channel. So thank you. One more question. How do you see that for the future? Do you have any more plans to grow it? How do you plan to conserve it? Probably that needs to live forever.
It does.
Why are you planning
I
for that?
love your enthusiasm for it. It's brilliant.
Your enthusiasm is so contagious. Thank you for
But
that.
the walled area is the walled area, so that's its size.
Yes.
But the grounds is definitely room for improvement. So there's lots of areas we can make. We've got a woodland wall with a river, and we can improve with having a Chinese set selection of trees and shrubs. So we can improve the grounds and make that more aesthetically pleasing for people, whilst planting some more exotic things. But within the World Garden, every year it's improving that husbandry, making it as good as it can be. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Definitely. And I look for, it's not going to be the first time I'm coming. I'm going to bring my children as well. And I want to see more things, obviously, you know. So I will be keeping an eye.
I've got my sombrero and poncho.
Good.
Not much Spanish, but I do my best.
Well, as long as you have, you know, that is in your heart. It doesn't matter if you speak
Exactly
Spanish.
right,
It's in
exactly
your heart.
right.
You know, Mexico grows into you, doesn't it?
It certainly
I'm
does.
so pleased to see all that. I said thank you for that. It's an amazing place.
Pleasure.
This place is, I'm in love. I'm obsessed, you know. So I will be coming back sometime soon. And thank you for the video and for the experience.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming
And
along.
lovely meeting you.
And
anyway.
you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.